You're listening to episode 66 of the Let's Go Comic Show. On this episode, we talk about James Gunn, Batman 51 through 53, Mr. Miracle, comic books all over the place, and Matt Ritchie's Vigor. You're listening to episode 66 of the Let's Go Comic Show. My name is Justin.
And I am Matt.
Oh, yeah. And on the Let's Go Comic Show, we talk about comics, comic book movies, comic book TV shows, everything in the world of comics.
Yes.
It's going to be so good. We haven't had a show in like 2 weeks, Matt.
We're like the Snyder Cut of podcasts.
We are the Snyder Cut. We're released the Snyder Cut. Where was it? Someone cut it, dude. They said, this show's not going out. So Joss Whedon came in and he changed a whole bunch of stuff.
It's actually why we haven't had a show in a few weeks.
Joss Whedon was here.
If you need to know those episodes, it's just keep asking for the Snyder
hashtag
Cut.
Release the Snyder Cut of the Let's Go Comic Show. So, which is funny. Okay, so we're just about ready to record, and I'm just kind of scrolling through Twitter, and there's literally a tweet from Warner Brothers India, which I didn't even know Warner Brothers India had a Twitter account. I'm going to start following them, and there's this kind of terrible, like, Photoshop image of Ben Affleck in different Warner Brothers roles. I think it's just two. I think it's just him being Batman and the accountant
roles.
It's all from a caped crusader to being an accountant. Happy birthday, Ben Affleck. Thank you for always keeping us at the edge of our seat. Well, first off, the accountant, he really wasn't an accountant. He was kind of like an assassin too. Anyways, they're kind of minimizing what his role was. But immediately, like, as you scroll down, I was just curious. Oh, like, why? What is everybody going to say? Happy birthday, Ben Affleck. It's just like, release the Snyder Cut. He is the Batman. He is Bruce Wayne. And we'd be ecstatic if you could release the Snyder Cut and return him to
Warner
his
Brothers
former
India.
glory, like Dawn of Justice. I stand with Zack Snyder. Here's the thing. Gotta be real about the Snyder Cut. I actually would love to see the Snyder Cut. I'm morbidly curious about the Snyder Cut.
Do you think it exists?
I know
That's what I'm not convinced
Here's the thing. No, it does not exist as like a final. There's an assembly cut, and there is a lot of finished like visual effects.
Okay.
But for it to be finished, it would cost millions of dollars. And there you go. And I think everyone knows that, even the people that demand it. The problem is Warner Brothers isn't going to go, oh. Everybody on Vero, by the way, Zack Snyder is a partner in Vero, so that's why he is on there releasing information, because then everybody goes to Vero to see all his photos and stuff. Anyways, happy birthday, Ben Affleck. Release the Snyder Cut. It's kind of funny. So,
indeed.
There you go. Thank you, WB India, for that fun little interlude. So, next, how you doing, Matt?
I'm doing all right, man.
Yeah.
How have you been this last month? I don't know. We usually don't have to cover this much.
Yeah. It's only been 2 weeks,
territory.
dude. It's only been like 2 weeks without a show.
Which means like it's been 3 weeks since we recorded.
That's true.
It just felt like so long.
It's felt long. It's been weird.
Missed your Musk.
Missed my Musk. Thank you. Sorry, there's just a lot of uncontrollable laughter. Yeah, this is, it's been weird. Like, I've actually missed the comic shop 2 weeks in a row. I did. So I went last week and I went this week. And the comic shop we typically go to, they haven't been putting out their little signs of like new. And so I'm like, I don't remember what I've purchased. I'm like, did I get Daredevil 605? Like, I don't know. I look at the cover.
You would always get the doubles before. You would always get the doubles.
The doubles? What do you mean the doubles?
The doubles.
Doubles of what?
Comic book issues.
Oh, it's buying more than one?
Yeah. You'd buy it again and be like, oh, I don't know if I got that. Yep, you did.
That sucks, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you could return. Yeah, anyway, so like it's been really difficult, but I know that I got like Immortal Hulk 1 and 3. Somehow I missed issue 2. And so I picked up issue 2 and 4. I feel like 5's out. I just feel like there's so many like comics out. I've missed like Batman, some Batman issues. I think I don't have Batman number 49 for some reason. I can't find it in my stack, and I know I didn't let anybody borrow it.
Batman 49?
Yeah, the one. It's where
Catwoman and Joker.
And I remember reading it like so many times. I don't know if I have a physical copy. I think I just have like that digital version. So I don't know, man.
Okay.
Like there's some things I need to figure out. But yeah, comic shop sold out. Anyways, it just felt nice to go into the shop today really quick. Pop in, search like what is out. In my app, I usually look up comiclist.com. Like so check out Comics List, tells you like what's going on, what's out for the day. They have a majority of everything. And the last few weeks I've gone to our shop, I feel like they shut down the internet. Like there's just no way to jump on. Even though you're using like your phone. Like I'm just blocked.
Right.
I feel like I'm just blocked in that area of the city maybe. I don't know. Just it doesn't make it easy, man. And then I went to the guy and I was like, "Hey, where's Batman 53 at?" And I was like, "It's not there." And then he showed me. There it is. It was just
okay.
Yeah, I've been having a day, dude. I've been having a day. Anyways, how you doing? Matt has 5 kids.
Yeah.
Matt has 5 kids and a swimming pool.
I do.
And it's pretty great.
It's it's a good life. It's a lot, but it's a good life.
It's a good life. You have a good life.
It's been a crazy day. Like I realized, I think, I don't know, like 6 o'clock or so. Like, oh yeah, new comic book day. That's how my day went. It was just one thing to the other, to the other, to the other. So I'm gonna have to try to maybe make it to a shop tomorrow.
Yeah.
To get my books, because I know Infinity Wars came out with their next issue. There's probably another Marvel one in there that I need to make sure and get.
Yeah.
But I was able to read some of Justin's copies of some of the DC titles that we'll talk about. But
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been hit and miss, like when the crazy schedule gets going, you kind of lose track sometimes. Yeah. So
but
kids started back at school this week.
Oh, okay.
With their Teen Titans Go backpacks.
Nice. Very stylish.
Yeah, making friends,
One of the highest, like, the best reviewed movies in the last year, too.
Really?
Was Teen Titans Go. Yes.
Yeah. We saw that.
Yeah, we did see
together.
That. It was fun.
I liked it a lot.
Me too.
My kids still listen to that soundtrack.
I want to watch it on, like, when it comes home so I can, like, watch all the funny stuff in the backgrounds.
Yes. I want to see it again for sure.
Yeah. I like Teen Titans Go. Like, I know everyone doesn't like it. I think Teen Titans Go is funny. And
it is.
It is, especially if you're a DC fan, man. There was people upset, again, kind of going to the Snyder thing, that they made fun of, like, Dawn of Justice. Like, where he's like, "What's your mom's name?" He's like, "Wait, what's your father's name?" "Thomas."
That was a good
Jonathan, and they were upset. I just think that's fun. I think it's that was even a joke. I guess the producers are saying, or the writers are like, that they almost made him cut. It's like, it's
really
funny. It was funny though.
What? No.
I thought it was funny.
That's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Make them.
So,
yeah.
Anyways, dude, like, internet. So, jumping into, let's jump into,
a lot's
like,
happened in the last few weeks.
A lot has happened in the last few weeks. We kind of have to pick and
choose what we're going to talk about.
So yeah, we're not going to cover everything, but sometimes you have a stack of comics. You don't read them all right away, right? Mm-hmm. But sometimes news travels faster. But before we even get into that, we're going to rate stuff. Matt, how do we rate stuff?
We rate that with the Let's Go rating system.
Yeah, we do.
And that is a Gotta Go.
Mm-hmm.
The highest.
The most like superior, like superior Spider-Man. It's the Dr. Octopus version of a rating. It's better.
There you go. And below that, it's a Let's Go.
Yeah.
Below that is a Go.
Which is good.
Yes. And below that is a Don't Go.
Bad.
And if it's truly horrible, Trash Juice. We haven't talked about Trash Juice in a little while.
It's
just stuff has been really good for the most part.
You know what? Actually, most comics have been good. Like, I'm only buying comics that I like now. So if it's bad, I'm dropping it. Yeah. Well, I used to just buy stuff like, I have to buy this because I have a run. You do.
You do like to complete like series of things.
I like to have it all. And then also, if you'd like to support the show, just go to patreon.com/letsgopodcast, and you can help us make the show better. So go ahead, go do that like right now, and then come back and be like, man, I contributed. I'm a part. I'm a Let's Bro, or a Let's Gal.
There you
go. So let's just jump into stuff. So I think we talked about it on the last episode about James Gunn kind of be given the boot from like
I don't think we ended
Guardians.
up touching on it,
We
honestly.
didn't. Well, it happened, and then today it was
big
like
news.
confirmed through Variety that they are not going to.
They did have
James
Alan
Gunn
Horn did agree to a meeting. It seems.
Yeah, without
With
Kevin
James
Feige,
Gunn.
which is weird.
Yeah,
Like you would
right?
think, if I don't know if that was a move of like let's get Feige out of here, because they've also said a few things that like Kevin Feige wasn't happy about it. He wasn't. We don't know if that's true or not. We just know that that's what people have said.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, for people that don't know, I mean, James Gunn. These are tweets 6-7 years old or so.
Yeah.
Just really horrendous, over the top, not great stuff.
Oh, it was awful.
Like everyone can agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Awful. But it's also something he addressed and apologized for
in 2012.
Sorry, so the
2012.
tweets weren't from 2012. They were from
Yeah.
like 2010. But then he apologized in 2012.
Yeah.
Around the time probably he was hired for Guardians of the Galaxy, I
Mhm.
believe. And to have that come around now is just all kinds of weird. I don't know. And now we have Disney's, claiming like, that doesn't line up with our values and what we stand for.
Yeah.
And then also you have, on the other side of that, you have the entire cast of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise
Yeah.
signing a letter saying, hey, like, we don't excuse what he did, but we want him back. We want him
Yeah.
back.
It's no one has said it's fine. What everyone has said is he's really sweet. We love working with him. Like, that's not indicative of who he is as a person. It was just him being like irresponsible on social media a few years ago, making and pushing buttons. And so, yeah, it was kind of, it was really, I
it's a
thought it
weird
was
thing.
actually nice, like the complete, like kind of the rally they did, that tweet they put out.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking Dave Bautista, though, he's straight up Disney's crap. Like,
Oh, yeah, dude. He's like...
he
nope.
has no F's to give to. He's just like, I'm not happy about this. Like, and I guess he basically has said, like, I'll do it because I'm contracted, but they better freaking use his script and all that stuff, which is supposedly done. So,
Yeah, and that's really interesting to see, like, them having such a strong stance on this and sticking to their ground.
yeah, I think it's good. I actually think that maybe Disney may think like, like, well, we're Disney, we're moving forward, and they kind of are. But I mean, that's a huge cast to be disgruntled. Like, these movies make
Yes.
money. Like, you're not going to recast all of them.
And it's a wildly popular franchise within the MCU as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, man. It's interesting.
I mean, you have a Disneyland ride with these guys. You have
that's-
characters going
that
like
James
there's-
Gunn helped with. Like,
Yeah.
he's part of that. And so part of me thinks, like, is Disney now going to scrub every single person that does shows and does things for them? Because
Here's my question: do you think they didn't scrub beforehand and know and get and weren't aware?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's different. Like, in the last year, things have changed on Twitter.
That's true.
So the way the culture is, but everybody, like, you can find a voice actor on any one of their movies and be like, oh, they've said some things. And I said it on the Let's Go show, because we talked a little bit about, like, not so much this issue, but like what results because of it. And like, I think of Sarah Silverman, and I'm not trying to like highlight her as like, or even get her any type of hot water. Like, it's not going to come from the show, but
Right.
like, she said some crazy stuff.
We do have a lot of sway in Hollywood.
Yes, but I mean, she said stuff, right, that could be seemed as
Any
incendiary.
number of people doing Disney and or Marvel stuff.
Yeah, and so I feel like I understand, like, say Guardians of the Galaxy 3 comes out, right? And the parents are like, he said this about kids. And it's like, I don't know if that's going to come up. Who knows that James Gunn directs Guardians of the Galaxy? Unless they want to, like, start putting it in headlines and stuff. But I don't know, man.
It just seems like a weird. Here's the thing for me.
It's,
Like,
I mean, it's
we
for
all
business.
agree-
It's smart for business, I get
We
it.
all agree it's horrible stuff, right?
Mhm.
Not funny. Wasn't a good idea.
Yeah.
I think what's concerning the most for me in this situation is the lack of allowance for people to change.
Mm-hmm.
That seems the weirdest to me, and it seems like a weird line to draw.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the most obvious one is look at the life that Robert Downey Jr. was living before making his comeback, right before being cast as Iron Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't line up with Disney's values, right?
Yeah, dude, he was doing like coke and arrested a numerous amount of times.
Rehab, probably said a whole lot of horrible things too.
Yeah.
And yet we're not disowning him in 2018 for something he did a decade ago, right?
Yeah.
And so, and here's it's not, again, not to excuse any actions that people have done.
Mm-mm.
Because while it is concerning to see this happen and to see there's a lack of allowance for, I don't know, that scares me. Like, I'm a different person than I was a decade ago.
Yeah.
Like, is there allowance for that? Obviously, I'm not on a high profile.
Not on Twitter.
I'm not on Twitter the same way. I'm not in a high profile position,
Yeah.
in this kind of organization. Obviously, right?
Yeah.
But I think it still applies. That the heart behind it, the idea, and it's that it's two sides to it, right? Like you have to have allowance to change as a person. James Gunn, I feel like that was part of his. Right? That was part of his statement is like, I'm not the same person I was back then. Right? And I'm not going to excuse it, but it was what it was, and I'm not that guy anymore.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to own that, like, yeah, you change. And even if you do get that grace and that capacity from people, like that goodwill to say, like, sure, like you have the ability to be a different person now, that doesn't escape consequences from happening.
Yeah. It's funny that,
so it's this weird two-sided thing,
Yeah, it's funny that these movies are about redemption of characters that are like kind of like
despicable,
yeah. Bunch of butthole characters that rally together and end up being heroes, and like you get this redemption's only able to occur in movies, but not in real life.
Ooh,
hot take.
Well, and I wonder how much of that. Obviously, he's writing and directing these, like, is he's projecting himself into these stories a little bit.
Maybe.
Saying, hey, I wasn't like the greatest person, but you know what? You can still come back around and do something good, even if you're not this
that's where he came
polished, like, wonderful, clean cut person.
Have you ever seen the Trauma movies that he's done? Like, what, or even just Trauma? That's where he was birthed out of Trauma.
Gosh, Trauma.
They do Toxic Avenger and do stuff like that.
Toxic Avenger. I should not have seen Toxic Avenger at the time that I saw it.
It's not a surprise that that's his humor's twisted, but the biggest problem, the whole thing is he's been so vocal, like online, been like continually like tweeting against stuff like the president has said and things like that, and then so some cat got, some like super right-wing dude got pissed off and found up these tweets and brought them out and kind of forced Disney's hand. The thing that Disney did, instead of like thinking and sitting, they just reacted. Like, I think it was less than 24 hours. He's off of Guardians 3. It was at Comic-Con. We're like, what? Like, that was kind of the big,
that was a big
like,
thing.
news that wasn't being announced, but going through like conversations like, what, did you hear, James Gunn's off of Guardians? Like, what? Like, that was weird, man. It was it was bad, dude. The whole cast has been like, this is not good. So it's interesting. I feel like Drax, you're dead, dude. Drax is dead. He's like, hey, man, they're all going. People have been saying like James Gunn's going to go to DC, like do Marvel movies. I mean, do Warner DC movies. I don't think that's a thing. I think there's probably a no compete clause,
Doubtful.
And I feel like that's just dumb fanboy like thinking like, well, now he can go to DC.
Yeah, if you're not doing one, you have to do the other, right?
It's like, well, I don't know if I want him on Superman movie. I don't think he's the right director for that. Maybe he can do Lobo. Yeah, but who thinks he's jumping ship to go?
I think it's funny to think like
Warner
obviously
Brothers.
If he's not in one place, he has to be in the other.
Yeah.
That's a kind of a weird way of thinking.
I don't think he's not gonna have work. I just feel like it's definitely not. It's not as dire if you're outside of like being a Guardians of the Galaxy fan. Mm-hmm. I think it's gonna be weird because I feel like it's gonna be one of those situations like, man, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which he's kind of said is the last in this trilogy of movies before another team takes over or whatever. It's going to feel fake. It's not going to feel authentic because someone's going to try to put together a soundtrack. I'm sure he's already curated his soundtrack. Mm-hmm. That's a big part of these movies is music and stuff like that. So his it's going to be this like fabricated, unreal version of a James Gunn movie. Not so much like how Ant-Man was not really an Edgar Wright movie, because it had his maybe it is similar.
Know.
Maybe it'll be
for
similar.
me, it feels very similar.
Maybe it will be. Maybe
obviously for different reasons.
Yeah,
Edgar Wright did
definitely
do
for different reasons.
They dug up dirt on a bit.
Whereas this guy was, well, I guess they're both fired, huh? Well, Edgar Wright wasn't fired.
He left for creative differences.
So it's really a bummer. Like, even though that they said that they're not going to, work this out, there's a little part of me that hopes, like, can Kevin Feige come in and be like, you guys are crazy. Come on, Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige should have, like, the power. He is Thanos, dude. He has.
I've got the power.
Kevin Feige, dude. Just get, like,
by the power
the time
of
stone. But get the time stone, dude. Reverse time.
Yeah.
And like, hey, FYI, next time you have to apologize about tweets, just goes out to anybody. If someone wants you to apologize for tweets that you've said, just delete those tweets. Maybe delete those tweets.
Maybe just go now, even before someone wants you to.
You can pay me. I will delete your tweets for you for the low cost of $99.99 per hour. I will go through your Twitter feed and I will delete stuff for you. Give me your password. I'll take care of it.
Yeah. All you other MCU directors.
Clean tweets. Yeah. We'll Russo brothers.
We'll scrub that so clean.
You know who jumped off of Twitter? Freaking Chris McKay, who was the Nightwing director and Lego Batman.
Really?
He just jumped off of Twitter. So I don't know if it was like because of this stuff, like, oh shoot, what have I said? Or I don't want any part of this.
Huh.
A lot of people have been jumping off Twitter, like directors. They've been like, forget it, dude. I don't want to even be a part of genre films. Based on like how people have acted towards,
because the fans are horrible.
Yeah, Rian Johnson after Star Wars, and even the actors and stuff. Even the girl who just got cast to be Ruby Rose, who's Batwoman, she's off because they said she's not gay enough.
What?
Yeah, dude. Like, it's just like, no, it should be like that's a whole other topic, dude. Of just like portrayals and stuff. Like, part of me, like, I get representation in movies and stuff, but I'm also like, actors should be able to act, right?
Yes, they don't need to just play themselves on screen.
Yeah, I mean, but
acting.
I get like you don't want to whitewash things, and you do want to like, oh man, like, but there comes a point like, well, couldn't any female play Batwoman? I don't know. Maybe it's not my place to say. I feel like it's not my place to say.
That's a hard spot.
But like, to force this lady off of Twitter, that's just messed up. Like fans are jerks.
Yes.
Anyways, so there's a whole bunch of thoughts going into like Twitter is just not a good place to be. Social media in general, but Twitter feels like the most volatile.
It's not a place to have an actual conversation. That's what it is.
Yeah, you're right. You can't.
You just throw things out into the great unknown with no accountability and no slapback.
Yeah. Until
it's crazy amount of slapback, and it's I don't know. And the last thing I would say about this whole James Gunn thing would be when we talked about the Fox deal and that potentially going through, which now it is going through, and just the one concerning part being like, man, is this all going to be homogenized and like everyone has the company line? Do you know what I mean? And everything starts to feel the same.
Or like X-Men stuff? And
yeah. And just with Disney owning Marvel and owning whatever, like, is there going to be diversity of not even just like people and what they look like and sound like, but is there going to be a diversity in the way the things are made and the types of stories that are told? And I think this happening, and not just, hey, we had creative differences, but someone like, no, like you're gone.
Yeah.
It's a weird precedent, I think, for Disney to set that I'm incredibly curious what that means going forward for any genre movie underneath their banner, specifically in Marvel, I would say. If like once you have like that precedent set of we can get rid of a director for this, I don't know. That seems to open the floodgates a little bit, in a way where I'm like curious to see how this works out.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, as you watch the earlier kind of Marvel movies, they feel like they're doing something different, and then they kind of end up, the tones are becoming, everything's the same, everything's funny, everything's punchline, and I don't think everything needs a punchline. I don't know if that's true about like Black Panther. I don't feel like there's a lot of punchlines and things.
It's very true.
So
I would agree.
But watching
Or Infinity War.
there was times where you're like, a little too many jokes, but I get it. Like when you bring certain characters in it, that's just who they are.
Yeah.
I was watching Age of Ultron today with my kid.
Oh,
before I came over here, he's like, Dad, let's watch Age of Ultron. I'm like, all right. And like, I really like the intro scene of that. Like once we get into all of who's that cat again? Ultron. I was like, what's the name of that guy in Age of Ultron?
That
Ultron.
guy with his name in the title.
I don't know, man. I'm not feeling it. I didn't finish it with him, but we ended up watching some of it on Sunday too. I think that's why he wanted to watch it. We were watching the end of it. It was on like TV. But there's actually some really good parts in there, like some good beats. Then there's the weird stuff with Hawkeye, and then Black Widow, Hulk, and like then you're like, oh yeah, that sucks. So I don't know where I was going with that, dude. I have no idea where I was going with that.
Well, it felt like just like like comic book companies, like publishers would have like house artists.
Yeah.
That's what that movie feels like. It feels like house artists.
Yeah.
Which must be a bummer for Joss Whedon to feel that way, I'm sure, too.
Well, he kind of... I'm not
just feel like this real vanilla like way of doing stuff and make sure you include all these other things. That
I don't think Joss Whedon is that amazing. Like, there's a lot of like people that are, Joss Whedon's the best. I'm like, okay, and I stand by this, and you can disagree with me. Like, I would love to talk to you about it more. I feel like any director could have done Avengers, and it was going to make $1 billion. It was just built up to be this big thing. You know, I don't think it's a bad movie, but I don't think it was just...
I don't know if I would say anyone, but...
I don't think it was like Joss Whedon that did it. I feel like any director with that script could have made that movie.
Yeah.
You know? Age of Ultron really kind of showed like the one-trick pony that he is. And then you see things like the stuff he added to Justice League. I'm like, it's awful. Like you didn't... Great. Yeah, it wasn't like, oh man, I'm so glad we brought you in. Like... and Warner Brothers learned their lesson on that one. Like, good job with good Whedon. Like, you know.
Yep. Should have kept the mustache.
Should have kept the mustache.
Should have done something.
Anyways, I wanted to kind of bring something up. It has nothing to do with anything in our notes. But yeah,
uncharted territory.
You know, Movies Anywhere. Do you do that? It used to be Disney's
Yeah.
Anywhere. So they did it. They sent something out the other day. And it was like, get X-Men Days of Future Past for free for hooking up your Microsoft account. And I'm like, I don't have a Microsoft account. But I clicked on the link to see like what else was going on. But it was like, oh, I can hook my Skype up. I got a Skype. Instantly, in my iTunes, Days of Future Past, which I haven't seen since it probably came out.
Nice.
So it was kind of fun. Like watching that movie again. Hugh Jackman was just ripped, dude.
Yeah. That was a decent movie, too.
It wasn't terrible. Like, that's the thing. I was like... And here's where I was going with Age of Ultron, because I was thinking about it. It felt like there was like gravity to the situation where it almost felt real. I don't know if that makes sense. It felt like it was a real thing. There is the goofy X-Men stuff, like you know, I still hate their Colossus. Like, love Deadpool Colossus, hate Bryan Singer Colossus. Like, I don't know how they even reconcile that stuff. But the stuff with him in the 70s and stuff was...
Of Days of Future Past.
Yeah, it was really good. Like, all those actors are great.
Michael Fassbender as Magneto is just...
Yeah,
incredible.
He's really good. Yeah. Anyways, I don't have a complete thought on it. I just reminded me of like, oh yeah. And I showed my kid the Quicksilver scene, and he was like, what? Because he did not understand Quicksilver from Age of Ultron, because we just saw Quicksilver in Age of Ultron on Sunday. And so I showed him Days of Future Past scene, just that one scene of him like taking out the agents in the Pentagon. And then he's like, let's watch Age of Ultron, Dad. And so he's like, wait, it's the same guy? I'm like, well, it's not the same universe. He doesn't understand. He's like, this hurts my head, Dad.
Why would you do this to me?
Anyways, we just went on a long time about all that stuff. Okay, so should he go to DC? What do you think? James Gunn?
No.
Yes or no? No. All right.
Nope.
I don't care. Indifferent. Matt Reeves, a couple weeks back, we didn't talk about this, is basically like, almost ready to start doing this Batman thing. Ben Affleck is still involved, but they don't say as an actor. Involved. Like, they don't say like it's the language. If you look at it, if Batman was going to be Ben Affleck, they would be like, oh yeah, he's Batman. But they dance around it. Look, he's still involved. So it was revealed he is a producer. Affleck is a producer on the movie.
Okay.
But still haven't said, is he involved?
You think Jake Gyllenhaal is still...
No. Jake Gyllenhaal is Mysterio in Spider-Man.
Oh, dude.
He has no time to be Batman. That ship has sailed, dude.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's too short to be Batman anyways.
That's on the wait and see for me.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump into comics, dude.
Comics.
So speaking of Batman 51, 52, 53.
That's been over the last 6 weeks.
Yeah. Post Batman 50, the marriage that did not come to be. Spoilers if you didn't read the New York Times when they spoiled it the day before.
That's true.
So thoughts, man. What do you think about this arc of Batman going against Mr. Freeze?
This arc, in every way, is, in my mind, one of the best arcs within the run of Tom King so far.
Yeah.
I think Lee Week's art
Lee Weeks, dude.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Specifically this issue. I would say all of them have looked great, but there's something about this issue that was just really special to me. And good grief, the writing to have, because I'm trying to think, there was a movie, an older movie, so the 11th Man or something like that. That was about jurors, figuring out
12 Angry Jurors?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know what stuff is, dude. It's late. I'm tired. I'm sleep deprived. I'm gonna chalk it up to that. Way to go, Justin. But you know what I mean? Who... I don't know. Who would hear that pitch and be like, yep, I want 3 issues of Bruce Wayne talking in a juror's room.
Yeah.
But...
it's so good.
It's really good. And I think it's wrapped up, this little mini 3-issue arc is wrapped up incredibly, incredibly well.
Yeah.
Almost perfectly, I would say, in Batman 53. Yeah, that's my thoughts on the arc in general. It's here's what's interesting what Tom King has done. I mean, maybe I'm jumping the gun too much. Do you want to give your thoughts before I
just thought there was a lot of cool things, spoilers obviously on this arc. There's stuff they didn't really touch on too much, but I think it's going to be in the Nightwing book of Nightwing being Batman again. It's kind of as he's out, as Bruce Wayne is on this jury. So I thought that was kind of cool. Nightwing's jumping in there again. That's cool. I thought it was such a really interesting way for Batman to deal with his guilt. For him to be mad at himself, for him to challenge himself.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah. I was it was such a great take on, am I always right? No one's checking me. No, there's no balances. And for the whole point of the story is for him to get back to who he was, who he really is as Batman. And so there's a little bit of that, I was confused by love, which everyone was saying that in the whole arc was he's not really who he is. He's not focused. He's different. He's off because he's not, laser focused on this mission of eliminating crime.
Right.
And so,
and I think you had that, it wasn't even just him. I don't know, because you see him dealing with how he felt about being checked, being balanced, and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. That's gotta inform not just this scenario with Mr. Freeze, not just in being Batman in general, but with his relationship with Selina and how that went. He didn't bring anyone else into that. He didn't ask any opinions. He didn't submit himself to any other authority, right?
Yeah.
He just did that and then informed everyone, oh, by the way, I'm getting married.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, dang, dude, is that what he's working through too? He's taking himself through counseling with these other people. And I think the thing about it that I think this arc, it really makes this arc special within the overarching entire arc of however 100 plus issues it's going to be with Tom King, is what was the first 10, 15, 20 issues about for this Batman run. It was about this larger than life, can't be stopped Batman.
I mean, he literally takes a plane down in the first issue.
Yeah. And he's like being completely overwhelmed and swarmed over by ninjas in the desert.
Yeah.
But makes it through.
Yep.
And now you have that same guy coming through and being like, not only does he not get it wrong every time, but he is just a man. Like, that was issue 53. I think that's what hit for me, is like Bruce Wayne telling other people, which in a way is him telling himself.
Yeah.
He's not God.
Yeah.
He doesn't get to decide everything.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do everything perfectly.
Yeah.
Which, like,
that's a huge thing, because Batman is like, they've called him, like, it used to be like a-hole Batman, and then it became Bat God, is kind of how he's been seen lately since, I think, New 52. Like, he solves everything. Well, not even New 52, since like Morrison's JLA, I think, was kind of the turning point, was like the start of the Bat God like era of Batman just kind of being infallible. He nothing could stop him. Like, you'd even get into debates where it was like, Batman can stop Galactus. Like, you just have these like I think I've been like even like victim of like, or guilty of saying stuff like, I mean, it's a funny thing to say, like, when you want to debate, because it's just basically like, Batman's the best and he can do anything, but he's always prepared, and he has everything in his belt and he can do it. And you even see some of that in the current Justice League run, which is freaking amazing. But sometimes it's nice to see a little bit of a failure, like, oh, dude, he was wrong. Like, that's
and that calls him into question of every other decision he's made. So I was wrong in this. So crap, have I been wrong? Was I wrong with Selena? Was I wrong in these other things? And I think there's this questioning where he's really. It's interesting to see Tom King build Batman up so much, and then break him completely down.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's what kind of, I don't want to get into it, but that's one of the things I do like about Batman versus Superman, that it was a flawed Batman making a really bad decision, and he dealt with it at the end. Like, obviously it was stupid that Superman died, and all that, like, where they took things at, but at the end he was like, I failed him, like, because you were freaking obsessed and like you were laser focused on the wrong thing. I do kind of like, not all the time, I don't want Batman to fail all the time, but like a failure like this caused him to like reset, like, I need to get back to the root of why I do this. Like, I don't want him to throw in the towel. We don't want him to stop being Batman, but we do want him to like kind of like, let's strip it all down. It's like a band that like became so over the top. They're like, this next record, we're just stripping it down. It's like drum, bass, guitar, like, no crazy synths, no all this other stuff. Like, and then you get to hear like just like the basic sounds of the band, right? Like, nothing else like enhancing it. And that's where he's kind of getting back to. Like, it's gonna be me in my old suit, my old belt, got shorts. I don't know why he wants to put shorts on again, but he's putting his shorts on. And like I can do without the shorts, but it's been very weird, like the way the suits have worked, like in Rebirth and New 52. Like, what's his first? I don't care so much in my brain. It's like that's always his first suit, but like, it's very interesting. They're just getting everybody back on their shorts. I hope Wonder Woman doesn't revert back to her classic outfit, because I really like the Gal Gadot version they've been using. Like, it just works. Good. It's nice without it being goofy. But like, I understand where they're going. And then the one thing I like about Lee Weeks, his art's very reminiscent of David Mazzucchelli, who did Year One. And I feel like Lee Weeks did. Oh man, I feel like he did. I don't want to say that he did do something or he didn't do something, but he did a lot of Daredevil, which was really good, and he's kind of matching those moods. So I like him. I like his art so much. He did the Batman Annual too. He did that with someone else helped him on it who did the bookends of it. I can't think of the guy who did Scene of the Crime, and he did Gotham City Police Department, Gotham Central, and he did Daredevil. I can't think of his name, but anyways, he worked on the Annual with them. But he did a lot of Daredevil. That was good. And he did Batman the Gauntlet. It was like a Robin story. Anyways, I like his art, Lee Weeks. And like,
It's
what's
really
cool about
good.
he's an older like artist too. Like he's been in the game for a while, so it's cool to see him kind of have his comeuppance and some good stuff.
Yeah, and the colors too in this issue
man.
specifically.
There's that one panel with the freaking clouds in there.
Yes, where the light's breaking through.
Yeah, dude, that's good stuff. Right there. I don't know what page this is. There's no page numbers, but like right there.
Yep.
Yep, that's good stuff.
As they're talking about Job.
Yeah, so like
That tie-in was interesting.
It was interesting, and it wasn't like, no matter where you sit on like faith, like it wasn't disrespectful. It didn't say anything was good or bad. It just said, it was just kind of straightforward. Hey, my dad was a Christian, and here's what he wanted for me. And when they died, like I lost that, you know?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And, you know, but using that at the end, kind of helping him guide his own thoughts. He's like, I'm not God. You know, like I am a dude. So
Yeah, well, I mean, and interesting that like he says, like he even talks about being hurt recently and how he shouted out and prayed to Batman to help him.
Yeah.
But that makes sense because think about like because you've seen these scenes intercut right with his interaction with Mr. Freeze over these last few issues, and he was thinking if I just let go of myself and go fully into Batman, he's going to help me feel better and he's going to help me cope through this. And this is him going through it as Bruce Wayne, which you don't see much in a Batman book, saying, man, it can't just be Batman figuring this out for me.
Yeah. The part that was great was like he said he made mistakes he shouldn't have made. Like he's talking about Batman. You all raised your hands. You all said he saved you. So do what you would do for any other man who have done that. What you would never do for God. Save him. He's saying, save me. Save Batman. By you, like letting Freeze off the hook, it's causing, you know, Batman to rethink what he's doing. In turn, it's saving him. Like Batman needs to be humbled. He's asking to be humbled right there.
Yeah, and he's like, if this sticks, if Batman gets away with this thing, that's not just, then what if I'm lost?
Yeah.
After that, you know what I mean? Then he's got his right away to do it, to keep doing it. Can I say that my favorite panel probably here, and a little bit of dialogue from Tom King, is Bruce Wayne talking to this kind old lady, saying, "God blesses your soul with grace. Batman punches people in the face." Yeah. That's a song waiting to be happening.
And it rhymed.
Song waiting to happen.
And it rhymed.
All the rhyming.
This whole thing.
Yeah, but what you're saying too, like when he's talking about like save him, like that's a really great moment because he's pleading, right? Like he's not just saying save this other guy. He's like, help me.
Yeah, help me. He's distraught, dude. Like the way it's illustrated, like he's just not in a good way. Like.
And so it's interesting to...
And they ask him, are you okay? It's like, what the heck's going on with freaking Bruce Wayne?
Right? And then you find out he's bought his way onto that jury.
Yeah,
to make sure and get there to keep himself from getting away with what he could get away with. Yeah. It was a cool moment. Because you have Batman. He's broken down. He's this husk of a man, right? Yeah. But then what did he do? He figured out 5 steps ahead how to get in there and how to change it. Yep. Which is still very Batman. It's still very over the top. I would say even having that Job passage on the last page, I think it makes sense for this story that he's been telling. There hasn't been like religious overtones or anything for the rest of it at all. But just this idea of like mourning, this idea of like changing your physical appearance because of what you've lost. Yeah. And I think that makes sense. He's not tearing his robes. He's not shaving his head or putting on ashes or whatever, that kind of biblical stuff. Yeah. But he's going back to his other thing because he's like, this is his way of mourning something that he's lost. Yeah. And I think if you look at it, like that's his first step toward somewhat of a healthy like processing of what's happened, you know, which we see he didn't do. Yeah. Yeah, it's incredibly well done. Every aspect, man, has just been really great. And I can't remember if I said or if I just thought it. The colors. for these issues have been really stellar as well. I would say who it
Elizabeth
is.
Brightweiser.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to make sure you give credit where credit is due.
I really am digging and I've noticed it in a lot of different books. This kind of just the flats, like it's not overtly colored anymore. Like some books, I think they look better too when it's not
having all the gradients,
hyper
and all that kind of
realistic color. Like it's really nice to look at a book and it not be overdone. I think because it gives it a little more of a visual style and personality. Like when your palette is pretty simple and
and for me it gives it like a timelessness too.
It does.
Where this feels, at least the way it's colored, it feels very like Chris Samney, like Francesco Francavilla, like in that realm of things, which I just find myself drawn to. So I've loved the work on this. I would love to see Lee Weeks back on another arc for this Batman.
Well, it looks like what Tom King does is just kind of, he's building his visual arsenal. Like, okay, I'm going to have you work on this.
And he does it for story arcs, which I appreciate. Can I say one thing? Like my only negative about Batman 53, the cover is incredibly misleading.
Oh, like jumping off the building?
Dark Knight no more. Throwing the outfit away. I'm like, because that's obviously a reference to Spider-Man No More. Right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty iconic. And that's him giving up being Spider-Man for however long it was. And I'm like, dude, this is making this. You're trying to tell me he's going to stop being Batman. That's what you're trying to say. And the only way you can kind of like get away with what you're doing on this cover is like, sure, he's getting rid of that costume for now.
Yeah.
I don't know. That for me is just like almost on the verge of like dishonest, because like that is not what the story's about. That's not where it went. That's not what it did at all.
Yeah. It doesn't bug me too much. It's comics, dude. They have to they got to throw that like
it's a small thing. Admittedly.
It's small. It's just one of those deals they do as comic companies, dude. They gotta sell them comics, dude. They gotta sell floppies, and
sell them floppies.
So
all right, man.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, Batman. 53 and 2 and 51. So good. It is, and again, coming off of something huge like Batman 50, like you're like, where do they go? What's the story after this? And it felt weird. Like, wait, so Batman's going to be on a jury for Mr. Freeze? That sounds like a weird right turn, you know? And
yet it felt exactly like what we needed.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It was definitely not what we thought we wanted, but definitely what we needed. It was hands down probably one of my favorite arcs in the Tom King run. And I love the Tom King run. Tom King run has been one of my favorites. So thank you so much.
He just has this way of having this entire run, not just this arc specifically, has been like this like transcendent Batman, but also like really realistic and in the depths. It's been this larger than life thing, but then this really like cerebral, like it's very action packed. It's very thoughtful. It's very like shallow actiony type stuff, just fun filler, but then super deep and really moving. And to have all of these in one run of a Batman comic, no less, is incredibly impressive. And I know we keep singing its praises, but I'm in it for the long haul, and I'm curious to see where the next 40-ish issues go.
Yeah, I think he said like 103 or something like that.
It's another 50 issues.
It was weird. Well, because there was those ones he didn't do, like the Monster Man ones. I think it was only 2. Yeah, it's good. He's glad he doesn't have his name marred on those issues.
I'm sure
they sucked. All right, cool. So we're gonna play a little bit of catch up now on these floppies.
All right.
I'll put some ketchup on your floppies, dude. And
ketchup on the floppies.
One of the books I've been reading, and I haven't read this issue yet, but The Immortal Hulk by Marvel, from Marvel Comics. It's really good, man. I know you read issue 1.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
And we're at issue 4 right now. Another comic book with Job. I don't know. Everyone's like reading the Bible now. So.
Oh, really? I didn't even realize that. That's funny.
It's like, Batman got a lot of, like call outs on that today. It was all over the place. The Bible in comics or whatever. But like these Hulk issues all been opening with like stuff from classic literature or whatever. And issue 2 has a little blurb from Job, but issue 4 has something from No Exit. I don't remember what was in 3 because it is at my house. Because I bought 2 after 3 because it was sold out. Because my whole story in the beginning of the show about not getting comics. But I really like the Hulk, and I'm wondering how far I stick with it. Like I remember I stuck with Indestructible Hulk for a while, and that was going on. Remember he was working for Shield because I really liked it, and then it just kind of like faded out.
I never ended up reading that run. The idea was really interesting.
It was good. I mean, there was a really cool like Walt Simonson issue where he teamed up with he went in the past and teamed up with old school Thor, so that was cool. I want to talk about not Batman, X-Men Grand Design by Ed Piskor. Second Genesis is out, and there's only one more issue after this, and they'll probably get into like the 90s stuff, but it's definitely like early 80s X-Men time, and I haven't gotten all the way through it yet. It's so good, dude. It makes me excited for X-Men movies if they make them. Like, just give them this. Like, follow these 4 books.
This, please. Here you
follow
go.
these 4 books, and this will be how you make your movies. It's so good. It's just.
Please make sure that the film is like yellowy off-white, and then you use white ink when needed.
Yep, and give Cyclops the skull cap, dude. Yes, I don't want to see his hair.
Always
skull cap.
I haven't finished that one either. But it's really great.
Yeah, dude.
It's a good one. Yeah. So Mr. Miracle number 10 came out a couple weeks ago.
Mr. Miracle number 10, dude.
And so for me, this is one of the best covers, I think, of this entire run.
The Dark Side one?
Yep.
So I put that on Twitter. I said, this needs to be a t-shirt. And then Nick Darrington said, it does. Like, it was nice to have a little bit of a
yes,
back
it
and
does.
forth with him.
I would wear that on a black t-shirt.
Black t-shirt.
Woo.
And on the back it says Dark Side is.
Get out of here.
Give me that. And then the classic, not the classic, but the standard Mitch Gerard. Gerard's cover is cool. Just him being sad at a birthday party with a Batman mask.
It's so good because you're seeing what... I don't know. Maybe I'm just late to the game, but I'm seeing.
Welcome to the Tom King Hour, by the way. We're on, it's
right.
Another Tom King book. Sorry.
I'm getting a clearer picture of what this series is actually about.
Yeah. Because remember in the beginning, the first issue, he basically slits his wrists.
Yes.
And so we're kind of thinking, did he kill himself? Is this?
But then
whole
it
thing
picks
about him
right
being
back
dead?
up into action for the next 6 issues.
Well, Bartek calls that out in this one. Like, what do I do?
Yes.
You slit your wrists. What am I supposed to do?
And I think you have that. I think you have the figuring out a kid's birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
You have him worrying about him curling up into a ball in the shower.
Yeah.
You have here. I don't know if this is a fair or if it's oversimplification of this series. You have this. You have real life family struggles set over and within the background of this larger than life superhero narrative. And I think that's like the special sauce for this series, and that's why I think it connects so well. You have Scott and Barda going through fighting through Apocalypse while talking about remodeling their apartment. You have them talking about and watching, talking about a kid's birthday party where they're trying to figure out negotiations and possibly giving their kid away. In this war negotiation of this crazy.
And he seems so okay with it. Not okay, but I mean, it's hard. That happened to us, right? Remember, he's trying
to what's the word? He's trying
rationalize.
Yes, he's rationalizing. I don't think he's for it. I think he's trying to rationalize why it would be okay. And I think what I saw in this, that I think also addresses Mr. Miracle number 9, is not even about Jacob Miracle being sent out, or Jacob Free, I should say.
Yeah.
Being sent away in this grand cosmic god level event. It's looking at as a parent, you don't want how do you try to get your kids to break the cycle of what you had to go through in growing up?
Yeah.
and you don't want them to have to experience that. But then life usually leads back to similar circumstances.
Yeah.
And that's what we have here. Like, that's what it is. It's not just Darkseid. It's not just all of these things, but it's Scott looking at and Barda looking at, I want better for my kids.
Yeah.
And yet here we are again.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like the only way out. And I have to say, as a dad, that resonates with me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So that's what I've been thinking about. I think it says that about marriage through this. I think it says that about just life in general, like self-worth, all that kind of stuff, like with him wanting to commit suicide. So I would say, like, just those themes for some reason just stuck out more in this issue to me. But man, Mr. Ads, the art, the use of color again and again and again.
Yeah.
The 9-panel grids and the use of that, incredibly well done.
I will say, Barda just looks really weird at the park. Like, I don't know, something about her didn't look right to me. I don't know what it was. Like, I don't know if it was the angle or the close-up. It just felt like her arms were coming out of her neck.
What about Scott Free's JLI credit card? How do you feel about that?
Oh, that's the type of stuff I love. Like, I love the Sheriff of Babylon like shirt. I love the Reverse Flash shirt. And I was reading way more into it than I should. I loved him hanging out with Booster and Beetle. Like,
yes, I was like that part of it. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is
where
incredible.
does this take place at? You know, so I'm like, Blue Beetle is alive.
Is this back in
Rebirth?
The 80s?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's current. Yeah, well, where does this story take place?
Where does the story take place? I think that's a legit question.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it matters for me to enjoy it. I'm like, he's hanging out with his buddies, and like they're even.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that. Like, I won't enjoy it if I don't know. But now I'm like, oh, my curiosity has peaked a little bit.
Are they in there? Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the JLI Bank, like, is that? Oh, that brings up whole other like issues, like, because he was in the Justice League International. Like, is that money? Is it like one of those debit cards that they put money on? Like, this is your allowance card. Just go. Thanks, Maxwell Lord. He's dead. So, Mr. Miracle, dude, 2 more issues left, dude. It seems like going by. It seems like it's gone by fast, right? Or
sort of. I mean, issues keep getting pushed back, but I want to be understanding of that just because it's so good.
Yeah. Next one comes out in September, I think. Or yeah.
And here's the other thing I'm trying to figure out, like, this far into it, is like, what the heck with all of the wibbly wobbly like lines and stuff like glitching out?
What's wrong?
Is it intentional?
Oh yeah, it's totally intentional.
Is it those specific things? Because it didn't really happen until you get to the happy birthday sign for Jacob.
Yeah.
And then at the very end of the issue.
I think all of it will be revealed at some point, you know? Like, they're definitely going to do a special edition of They Have To, you know?
What do you think, though? Do you think that that this stuff is actually happening?
Yeah. If it wasn't happening, it'd be kind of a bummer. I kind of like going through the tension of a decision like this. Like, hey, our kid may be the solution to peace between two sides, but we have to give him over to crazy freaking dad. Like, yeah, to Darkseid. So something's happening, dude. And I'm just excited to see it play out. Like, it's really, it's almost, again, I have more anticipation for this than I have had for most of the books that we read, like Metal and stuff going on this year. Even Doomsday Clock. Like, I'm like, how's Mr. Miracle going to end? You know? And it's definitely a smaller story, but I'm more invested into this story.
2 issues to go. The end of September, end of October.
And then I will buy it again as a collected edition in a hardcover and make my wife read it. And she'll go, what? You're going to read this book, girl?
It's so great.
So, Gideon Falls, number 6 came out, but I have not finished up 4 and 5 yet. So,
oh, man, it's so good.
Yeah,
I need to just take 6 from you then so I can read it.
You take it from me. Matt literally just grabbed that from my hand. You're a taker. He's a taker. Yeah, take it. If you want to read it, go for it. If you're caught up. I'm like a little bit behind on it.
This book is so weird, man. but
you know
like in a captivating kind of way.
Yeah. You know what I do? I don't know if I've talked about this before. So, all my Marvel books, because they all have digital codes, I just throw the digital codes on my iPad, and I read them so fast. Everything else that's not on digital is so hard to get through, because it's like, I can read at
You're
night.
all about that convenience,
I can
man.
read at night in my bed so fast. But I cannot read during the day. It's hard.
Man, I'm so glad I have the information now.
You have what?
I'm so glad I have the information now.
Did I share that with you? Just talking as we're just
I just
hanging out.
understand Jason. Wow, what? Justin.
That's cool.
Jason Todd. That's what I was thinking about.
Okay.
That's my excuse.
There you go.
Red Hood and the Outlaws number 25 was actually not too bad. That was a random thing. I don't read that book at all, but see, I'm trying to play it off as like I was already thinking about talking about that comic book and not like it was a slip of the tongue and that I'm super sleepy. But really, that's what it was, man. I'm sorry I called you Jason. Would you forgive me in front of all these people?
It's fine. I'm over it. We're good. Let me think about it. It's fine. It's banter. Banter.
You know what would make this better is talking about the last 2 issues of Justice League.
Yes. Oh, okay. So, people.
Not written by Tom King.
Yeah, you know what? That's all right.
I read other stuff, okay?
It's Scott Snyder. You know. Sorry. Oh, I'm good. Matt's offering me some power.
I offer you power.
And beer.
I do offer that as well, usually, yes.
So, Justice League, since issue 1, has been a fun comic, dude. Like, one of the best comics. You see, we got 5 right here. 5 was written by Tynion, and I'm guessing that Snyder, I mean, he kind of is grandfathering this, so it's not like it's completely out of, like, him being a part. But,
yeah. You mean godfathering?
Godfathering it, what did I say?
Grandfathering.
Grandfathering.
Like he's grandfathered into the plan.
He's godfathering these things. What helped me was Doug Monkey, who I love, and so, like, he can draw anything, and I'll read it, and it was nice to see him do Sinestro again. And even doing some of these characters, like he actually drew Justice League when Wade was doing it.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah, it was just nice to see the other side. I like his art. I like how he draws monkeys. You know,
I really like how he draws monkeys.
I prefer his Sinestro to what Homeboy is drawing. Oh gosh, who's doing it?
Jorge Jimenez.
I don't like how Jorge draws his Sinestro outfit. He makes it look kind of baggy and goofy.
Interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, it's not groundbreaking information, but I like his Superman. His weird-looking Superman at the end is cool.
Yeah, like them controlling them.
Yeah, but I like seeing what's going on here. Like, oh, good stuff, guys. Good comics, dude.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I think issue 5 was kind of cool to have that different perspective. The issue 6. Again, I think when Scott Snyder's like firing on all cylinders with stuff like this, I'm like, oh, this is what metal was supposed to feel like, probably. Yeah. Great action, lighthearted enough to where it doesn't feel heavy.
6 was fun, dude. There was some fun stuff going on in 6, you know?
It was crazy.
Yeah. So, gosh, dude. The whole, like, being inside of Superman and Martian Manhunter stuff, like Shrunk is cool.
Inner space.
Yeah, inner space. The battle between Batman and Lex Luthor. I kind of talked about that from Comic-Con. That's what Scott Snyder was like, I'm just going to spoil it. But it was cool seeing it play out, you know, this battle between them. And then at the end, like, things are going bad, dude. This is not good.
It's like, not good.
Life is bad, man. Life is bad. I don't know what's going on, you guys. But it's not working out well for everybody.
Batman's legs are broken.
Mm-hmm.
John Stewart's driving.
Yeah, dude, and that was
car.
that was a disturbing image of Batman's legs just being snapped.
It's very true.
Yeah. So
lots of good stuff in there, and then to have that final reveal of like, wait, what? Earth is a White Lantern now. At the end of issue 6.
Oh yeah. The White Lantern
wow,
thing.
All right.
So I'm loving that they're kind of going back to some like, you know
They're
me.
pulling in lots
I
of
love
stuff.
Brightest Day. I loved all that type of stuff, and so it's kind of like, are we going back to? Are we gonna start visiting things I wish we could have had a little more of? You know. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
That'd be cool. No, I think the way he's blending in elements of a lot of different stories is really good. To see these characters just embrace the changes that they've been trying to fight the last few issues, I think that's an interesting dynamic. What the heck is going on with Hawk Girl's wings?
I don't know. It might be the nth metal stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, that's probably what it is. Like, it's definitely a thing they're not going to give us all the information right now. It's probably going to be kind of like this saves the day, your heavy metal wings, girl.
Yeah, I mean, well, everything's building. You have a bunch of those smaller frames leading up to that last reveal of the White Lantern symbol. So we're really it seems like the penultimate issue of whatever this initial story.
Well, remember Swamp Thing was the White Lantern, so I don't know if they're going to bring in some of that magic stuff. Remember he was the White Lantern Guardian of Earth? Is that right?
But then Kyle Rayner was
Oh,
the
then
White
Kyle
Lantern.
Rayner had it, huh? He was like the...
That's why I'm curious to see where this goes.
I don't think it's going to be Kyle Rayner who shows up. So, just saying. That's
yeah,
my thoughts
I mean,
about
we'll have
that
to see.
one.
Hawk Girl coming to the rescue, going to take out Luthor with her mace.
Yeah.
That's all I want to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Joker's super creepy. I like how Joker gets pissed off at the end. Like, his joke is not going to be completed. Like, that whole, like, how they're pacing it out, where now he's upset. Like,
yeah.
Before
he was just having fun.
So, like, how many more issues are left of this? One more? And
I wanna
then
say
we
one
jump
more,
into
but it could be two more, and then it would be an issue of like that side issue 1 and then issue 10.
Okay, because
It
then
starts
we
with Drowned Earth.
then we jump into
Nice.
the
Manipul.
Drowned Earth with Francis Manipul, man, so good. Man, I feel really exhausted. There's so many comics to talk about, and we didn't even get into
So
all
much.
of
I
it.
didn't get anything. I've been getting. So I got Infinity. Infinity Wars is happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's an event for Marvel. I really liked the Infinity Wars Prime and Infinity Wars #1.
Yeah,
I mean, when I go back to the shop tomorrow, I'll get Infinity Wars 2. But I think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting twist on what you would think would just kind of be a rehash of what's come before.
what do you? Because I mean, I don't want to spoil too much. I don't think this is an issue you should spoil. But you showed me some stuff, and I was like, oh shoot.
No, it's like there's some pretty ballsy stuff that they do. So I think it's worth reading. That is all I will say.
That's all you say. All right. Have you seen Infinity War since it's been released?
Oh yeah, we bought it on digital the day it came out.
Okay, yeah, me too.
I haven't watched any of the special features yet, though. I heard the director's roundtable thing is really cool.
That is pretty cool. I have not finished it. I started it and I passed out.
Nice.
So I was like, I'm gonna watch
Just
this.
so much awesomeness. Couldn't even take it.
I literally watched. No, I started watching it like Tuesday night. It came out like at midnight, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this, and then I just fell asleep. So I was like, I'm tired. So, anyways, much like right now, I'm tired. Getting tired, buddy.
Tired,
We're getting very drowsy and had a long day, but we want to get a show out.
Babies only sleep for so long, man.
That's right, dude. Babies only sleep for so long. So, all right, Matt.
Words to live by.
There you go. How can people find you?
At Matt Ritchie on Twitter.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at J_Rocka. You can find the show all over social media at Let's Go Comic Show. Yeah, but you can just go to letsgopodcast.com online and check that out. Again, go to the Patreon and leave us a positive review on iTunes. That would be fantastic. Thank you, guys. So, are you good, Matt?
I'm good, man.
Cool.
Are you
And-
good?
Yeah, I'm good. We'll come back next week with an episode full of energy and vigor. And it'll be,
Vigor.
Yes.
I will bring the vigor.
Matt does bring the vigor.
You bring the energy, I'll bring the vigor.
There you go. So, my name is Justin.
I'm Matt.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.